So, hey everybody, thank you for giving me this amazing honor, Miss Renetta, to join in tonight and share some goodies with the lovely ladies in this group. I appreciate you. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Jasmine Balom. I am a life strategist or life coach. I'm also a mentor. I have a book entitled Hello, My Name is Forgiven, and I also have a t-shirt line focused on empowerment. So the reason that I was excited to talk to you guys tonight is because a lot of times I hear from both men and women that they wish their spouse, they wish their spouse understood. Oh, I just wish he would understand what I'm talking about. Oh, I just wish he would get it. I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over. So I am hoping that what I'm going to share with you tonight is going to be a game changer for you, because I know it's a game changer, but it's what you do with the information that makes it a game changer for you, right? So I've got 5 tips that you can take and start using immediately tonight to start improving the communication in your relationship with your spouse, your partner, but also in your friendships, even in business collaborations. Honestly, you can use it across the board in any type of relationship that you participate in. So the first thing that I want to throw on the table, and people always gasp and get, all out of joint with it, but it's just real honesty. The first tip is forgiveness. Any relationship that you participate in, be it a business relationship, be it a personal relationship, be it a friendship, forgiveness is going to be a key component that affects your communication. Because what we often tend to do is when we get angry with the person, when we're experiencing some type of turbulence in our communication, we start reaching back 50, 11 years ago and wanting to bring everything to the table. Well, you remember when you said, and you remember when you did, and you remember when you hurt my feelings. And that person is like, well, wait a minute, where did that come from? We're not even talking about this right now. But we're so invested in the emotion of what we're feeling in that moment. We're not coming from a rational, logical place where we can solely communicate and focus on the issue at hand. We're reaching back through the emotional lens, and we're taking everything we can think of and we're throwing it at them because we want them in that moment to hurt as much as our feelings are hurt for whatever we're going through, right? And men do it and women do it. So forgiveness is the first tip. The next time you have a conversation with your business partner you're collaborating on, or with your personal relationship, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, or even in just a friendship with your bestie, I want you to stop. The next time you're having a conversation and you're communicating about whatever, when that tendency flares its little ugly head and you feel like you've just got to throw on the table that thing that they did yesterday, last week, last month, last year, and 20 years ago, stop. Take a deep breath. Focus on what you're talking about in that moment and stay in that moment. Stay on topic. Don't give in to the guilt trip you want to lay on them for the last time they messed up. Don't give in to the antics of wanting them to hurt as much as you hurt. Stay focused on the topic at hand. Stay focused on logic rather than emotion. Put your emotions to the side for a minute and solely address the thing that's on the table at that moment. So I'll give you an example. If you and your spouse are talking about he left a mess in the kitchen, and you're mad because you guys have talked about this so many times that every single time you come behind him, he has left a mess in the kitchen. Don't keep throwing in his face how you have to keep cleaning up behind him every time he goes in the kitchen. Rephrase what you're saying. You know what, babe? I know that sometimes it's easy when we're cooking, we use a lot of dishes, and before we know it, we've got this big pile of stuff that we've now got to clean after we're done cooking. And once we finish eating, we're tired, we're not thinking about it, we might forget about it, or we get sleepy, or we get, sidetracked doing something else. So I was going to ask you if you wouldn't mind trying something with me. Instead of us leaving the dishes until we're done cooking and until we're done eating, would you mind trying this with me? And let's clean as we cook. We'll wipe the counters down, we'll wipe off the dishes or put them in the dishwasher, and we'll get everything nice and neat. So by the time we're actually done cooking, all we've got is the plates we're going to use and the pots and pans we're using at that moment. And then when we're done eating, we'll go right back into the kitchen and we'll work as a team. We'll tackle this and we'll make it easy so neither one of us is stressed out about this. He's more likely to be able to hear that than, I'm so sick of you leaving a mess in the kitchen. I'm so sick of you. Right? Or let's flip it. It could be the woman that's leaving the dishes in the sink and the man is tired of having to clean up behind her. And you don't have to use my exact wording, but that's just an example of how you can flip it and come from a much more peaceful perspective, a much more rational perspective, instead of allowing the emotion to take you way out to deep sea and then trying to figure out how the heck you got there and started a whole new argument. So that's the first thing, forgiveness. The second tip is this. Your man is not Chatty Cathy. He does not want to be your BFF every time you have a conversation. Now, I know that we as women, we oftentimes, we want to tell our guy everything that happened at work that day about all our gossipy coworkers and the trifling person that cut us off in the parking lot. We want to unload and let it all out. He does not want to be Chatty Cathy. And if you have a really balanced guy, yeah, he may be that great listener. He'll let you get it all out. 9 times out of 10, he's in overload after you're done talking, because guys just communicate differently than we do. So a trick that you can work on is this. Set aside some time and let him know you really enjoy just including him in on your day-to-day stuff. You really enjoy including him in your life and how you feel, and sharing with him and just being in that emotional, intimate space with him. But you also understand and respect that his emotional needs are different. His communication needs are different, right? So ask him for a minute that you can set aside, or I guess I should say a moment that you can set aside. It could be whatever day of the week you guys choose, at whatever time of day you choose, because he may have a preference. He may want to say, let's do it on a Friday after we've dealt with the work week, or he may want to say, let's do it in the morning before we head out, or whatever. But ask him, can you have a moment that's set aside where you guys just talk, and you get to talk about whatever for a specified length of time. Let him set the time. He may say, I'll give you 15 minutes. He may say, I'll give you 30 minutes. He may say, I'll give you an hour. Let him set the venue. Do you guys want to go for a drive? Do you want to go for ice cream? Do you want to go out for dinner? You want to do it at home on the sofa watching TV while he's flipping through the channels? Let him set it in a comfort zone that works best for him, so that he'll be relaxed and he'll be able to give you that time and that attention as best he can. And for that specified amount of time, whether it be 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour or whatever, you get to lay it all on the table and talk Chatty Cathy as much as you want. And when that time is up, don't get angry because he says time up. Don't get mad at him. Don't get frustrated. Respect that he listened, and now it's time to shift and do something else. If he wants to set a timer, or you want to set a timer to make sure that you can adhere to that, go with that. Or if you guys can be flexible with it, that's good. But make sure to respect his needs as well as your own to talk and communicate, and find that middle ground. Next, the third tip. Do not, please do not expect him to read your mind. Don't give him the silent treatment concerning something that you need and then be mad because he doesn't know it. He's not a magician. He's not a mind reader. And the thoughts are not going to jump from your mind through osmosis and plant themselves into his. Doesn't work that way. So if you want him to know something, tell him. If you need him to understand you have a specific need concerning something, spit it out. I mean, lay it out. Treat him like a kindergartner if you have to, and lay it out line by line. Draw him a map with an X on it to help fix the issue. Because men think differently than we do. They process differently than we do. And when they tell you, tell me what you want, they literally mean, tell me what you want. Because they think differently than we do, right? They're not going to hear something and process it the same way that we would and come up with the same solution. So I'm willing to bet if you guys are in a committed relationship and he loves you, he wants to meet your needs. He wants to make you happy. He wants you to feel loved and supported and connected to him. He may not express those things in that very manner with those words, but he wants that. So help him to do that by communicating clearly. And I'm not saying you have to write the man a dissertation in order to help him understand, to address your needs. But be clear. If you need him to give you a hug in the morning before he leaves for work, tell him that. If you are one that needs to hear I love you every day, tell him that. If you like flowers and, candy and trinkets and gifts, tell him that. If you like surprises in romance, communicate that. If you are one that is less touchy-feely, tell him that. Whatever it is, those are just some examples, but whatever your specific need is, communicate that, because 9 times out of 10, he wants to meet your needs. He just may not know how. So you can't get angry with him because he doesn't know how if you didn't tell him. And I guarantee you, when you begin to speak clearly and concisely to help him understand what your needs are, that takes a lot of strain off of the communication. It reduces arguments, it reduces tension and anxiety, and you guys are really able to hear each other when you talk. It makes your quality time more enjoyable. It makes sex more enjoyable. So it's honestly a win-win. Number 4, be willing to be honest with yourself and take a look at what you bring to the table. It cannot always be his fault. It takes 2 people to participate in a relationship. It takes 2 people to communicate. It takes 2 people to learn and grow. So if every time y'all get into it, you're confronting him and saying it's all his fault, if every time something happens, you're going and gabbing to your best friend about how horrible he is, if every time something happens, you are always saying that he's the culprit and he's the bad guy, back up and look in the mirror, because it takes 2 to participate in anything in that relationship, good or bad. It takes 2 to make it, takes 2 to break it. So being able to be real about what you're bringing to the table. Are you causing some of the arguments? Are you causing some of the tension? Are you causing some of the disagreements because of your inability to be honest about how you're participating in situations? Be real about that. Go stand in the mirror and take a good look at you and realize that you are participating just like he is, or your lack of participation could be a problem as well. Do you need to communicate more openly with him? Do you need to be more honest with him? Do you need to share something that's bothering you that you've held on to and now it's making you angry and bitter, so it's coloring every conversation that you have because you're responding out of that emotional place, that angry place? Be honest about that. Take a moment and really think about it when you get a chance, and look at the last few conversations you've had together and really see how not only whatever you feel like he did wrong or whatever you feel like he did to cause issue, but look at yourself and be willing to acknowledge it and be willing to apologize. And number 5, be willing to do the work. Communication is challenging sometimes because men and women think and process differently. We as women, when we communicate, we often come from a place of just honestly wanting to share. We literally want to talk about how we feel just because we want to talk about how we feel. Be it about our day, or if we're entrepreneurs or business owners, what we're doing in our own thing, about our children, about our friends, about something interesting we saw on the television, about something we talked to our girlfriends about earlier that day, about what our mom or our dad said, about what the cat did on a funny Facebook meme. I mean, we just like to talk about those things and share and include people in our world, right? Well, men most often communicate to solve a problem. They're not just going to come in and tell you all about their day and what their boss said and how they're feeling every second of every single day. That is just not what is inscribed in their DNA. They are made a little different than we are. So you have to understand that communication is a give and take, because he has to learn how you express yourself and the things that make you tick, and you also have to learn how he expresses himself and the things that make him tick. With that being said, it's worth it. It's definitely a beautiful thing, but it takes work sometimes. It can be amazing and feel great. Sometimes it is challenging. Sometimes it is rocky. Sometimes it gets downright ugly. But when you are willing to do the work and learn each other's communication style, learn each other's needs, learn the ways that you express yourself, you can only better the communication, which again, it strengthens your relationship. It strengthens your quality time because you get to be in the presence of one another without being mad and giving each other side eye and side looks, without being angry and bitter and trying to tear each other down with your words and then having to try to come back and say you're sorry. Because at the end of the day, we all have to understand, once you say it and it's out there, you can never take it back. I don't care how many times you apologize and how many years pass. It's going to be back there in that memory bank somewhere. So be willing to do the work up front to build a solid foundation of communication. That is what strengthens your relationship. That is what prepares you for the ups and downs of life, the challenges of life. That is what prepares you for those moments when it's uncomfortable and gets you to the best moments that are amazing, where you're finishing each other's sentences, where you're finishing each other's thoughts, when you think about him and he picks up the phone and calls, and vice versa, when you just know each other inside and out, right? Do the work. And that work could be, if it's tense and you need help and you're not being able to do it together on your own, get some objective outside help and go to counseling or get a life coach. Me. Get some, get a third party to help mediate and give you guys some framework, give you guys some objective outside thoughts based on what's happening, what you're communicating, so that you can build a better framework, that you can reestablish a strong foundation and move forward in goodness. Be willing to do the work to spend quality time together. Be willing to do the work to create activities that each other enjoys. Be willing to do the work to learn each other's needs and then meet those needs through action, through word, through deed, consistently. Be willing to do the work. So those are the 5 things that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, I tell my friends, I tell my clients, I share those things with people. I've literally had conversations in the grocery store, standing in line, and shared those things with somebody, and they said, oh my gosh, I'm going home to try this on my husband right now. I've even shared them with guys, and they have said, you know what? I'm going home to try this because I love my wife and she's worth it. We often think of men as Neanderthals and they're just cavemen and no. When a man really loves you, he's willing to do the work and he's willing to learn how to communicate and talk and be in a position to grow with you. So my challenge to you, don't just take the 5 things that I shared with you and be like, okay, and throw them in the back of your memory bank somewhere and forget them. Take them and use them. Watch this video again and write them down and use them. Go talk to your husband about them. Go talk to your boyfriend or your spouse about them, or your girlfriend about them, or whoever. And for those of you that are watching this and you say, I can use this in my friendship, yes, write them down and use them. Then go talk to your friend like, hey, I saw this video and I think we can use this to better our communication. If they like you, it's worth it. They'll try, because a real friendship is worth the effort. And the same thing with business collaborations. Forgiveness is powerful, even concerning business partners and business collaborations. Communication is powerful. It is the bedrock and the foundation of everything that you do. So with that being said, don't just let it be a few minutes of time and then let it go to waste. Use this, write these 5 things down and think about them, reflect on them, and see how you can implement them into what you're already doing, or make changes and implement them to do something new, to try something new, to create new communication and better communication. Overall, improve your communication, because I know that it'll help. Like I said, these are game changers because they're simple. They're easy things that you can do. They're free. It doesn't cost any money to try them. Won't cost you anything to try. And the worst case scenario, if you don't notice a lot of huge change and you have to try something else, oh well, you didn't lose anything. Best case scenario, which I know is what's going to happen, you're going to see change. You're going to experience change first and foremost within yourself, and then secondly as you communicate with that person. So I trust that I have shared some wisdom with you guys that's going to make a powerful difference for you and empower you and inspire you to go out there and be great and better communicate with the people in your life, the people that matter to you and the people that you love. I thank you, awesome women, for giving me a few minutes of your time. I thank you for just tuning in, trusting me to share something of wisdom, some knowledge, and some powerful words to inspire you and your greatness to go forth. With that, You can get in contact with me across the social media platforms. I am on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. And you can type in I Am Healing One on any of those social media platforms and it should pull me up. I Am Healing One. All together, no spaces or underscores. Type it in and you'll pull me up. You can visit my website, www.iamhealingone.org. So I'll spell it out. It's literally like it sounds. IAMHEALINGONE. IamHealingOne.org. To find out more information about my book, that's on there. About the t-shirts, that's on the website. You can always reach out to me on social media and just direct message me or inbox me and ask me any questions that you have, and I'll share with you what I can. If you're interested in coaching, all of that information is on my website as well. You can always call me and let me know. I am offering a free 30-minute strategy session. Of course, I know this video will be uploaded on YouTube, so by the time you see it on YouTube, no. But for right now, for this group, I am offering a free 30-minute strategy session. So in order to win that free 30-minute strategy session, I want the first person to type in all 5 steps or all 5 tips. The first person that types in all 5 tips will get that free strategy session. So thank you again for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you. I look forward to hearing from you. Give me some feedback. Let me know how they helped. I am always interested in catching up with people after I talk with them and share information and seeing how it empowered them and how it helped them change a situation or to grow themselves, to mature themselves and be more empowered, to be more amazing. Because in my mind, I'm a rock star, and I think you all are rock stars as well. So with that, I love you. Be bold, be blessed, be bountiful, and be beautiful. Have a wonderful evening.